Every day, millions of Christians unknowingly support companies whose logos contain hidden satanic symbols and occult meanings that directly mock God and promote spiritual darkness. What's even more shocking is that many of these brands have documented histories of supporting anti-Christian agendas, yet believers continue purchasing their products without realizing they're funding organizations that oppose biblical values. The Bible warns us in Ephesians 5:11, "Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them." Today, we're going to reveal 7 famous brands whose logos contain disturbing satanic symbols that most Christians have never noticed. Some use ancient demonic imagery, others hide the number 66 in plain sight, and several have dark histories involving occult practices and anti-Christian leadership. You need to see this evidence because your spiritual discernment and spending decisions could be unknowingly supporting darkness instead of light. Before we expose these shocking truths, please subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and comment the country you're watching from so we can see how God is opening Christians' eyes around the world to these deceptions. Share this video with your Christian friends and family who need this revelation. Now, let's start with our first brand whose innocent-looking logo actually contains ancient pagan symbolism that would horrify most believers. The Starbucks logo features what most people think is simply a mermaid, but the truth is far more disturbing for biblical Christianity. The figure is actually Melusina, a two-tailed siren from medieval European mythology who was believed to be a water demon that seduced men to their spiritual and physical destruction. This pagan goddess was associated with witchcraft, sexual immorality, and leading souls away from God. Exactly what 1 Peter 5:8 warns us about. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. What makes this even more concerning is how Starbucks has aggressively promoted anti-biblical values, including LGBTQ+ activism and occult-themed seasonal drinks like their Witch's Brew Frappuccino. The company's leadership has openly opposed biblical marriage and donated millions to organizations that fight against Christian values. Meanwhile, their logo continues to display this demonic water spirit that ancient cultures believed could possess and corrupt human souls. The Bible clearly states in Deuteronomy 18:10-12 that God detests all forms of witchcraft and divination, yet Christians line up daily under this pagan symbol. But what's even more shocking is how the siren's crown contains precisely 5 points, representing the pentagram, a symbol widely used in satanic rituals and witchcraft. The positioning of her twin tails creates an inverted triangle, another occult symbol representing the rejection of the Trinity and the elevation of earthly desires over spiritual truth. As 2 Corinthians 6:14 asks, "What fellowship can light have with darkness?" Yet millions of Christians daily support this company, whose very logo celebrates demonic mythology. And if you think that's disturbing, wait until you see what we've discovered about our next brand. Monster Energy's logo appears to be 3 claw marks, but when you understand Hebrew, the truth becomes absolutely terrifying for any Bible-believing Christian. Those 3 scratches are actually the Hebrew letter Vav, repeated 3 times. And in Hebrew numerology, Vav represents the number 6. This means Monster Energy's logo literally displays 666, the mark of the beast warned about in Revelation 13:18. This calls for wisdom. Let the one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 6666. The company's marketing consistently promotes rebellion, violence, and anti-authority themes that directly contradict biblical teachings about submission to God and godly authority. Their slogan, "Unleash the Beast," takes on a sinister meaning when you realize they're literally asking consumers to embrace the beast system prophesied in Revelation. Monsters. Advertisements frequently feature extreme sports, dangerous behaviors, and imagery associated with death and destruction. The exact opposite of the abundant life Jesus promises in John 10:10. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it abundantly. What's even more disturbing is how Monster Energy has infiltrated Christian youth culture through extreme sports sponsorships and events, deliberately targeting young believers with their satanic symbolism disguised as teenage rebellion. The Hebrew letter Vav also represents a nail or hook, symbolically representing the nails that pierced Christ, making their 666 logo a mockery of Jesus' sacrifice. Galatians 6:7 reminds us, "Do not be deceived, God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." Christians consuming products marked with 666 are unknowingly participating in end-times rebellion against God. But the next, companies' occult connections run even deeper than you could imagine. For decades, Procter & Gamble used a logo featuring an old man's face in a crescent moon surrounded by exactly 13 stars, a design that occult experts immediately recognize as containing multiple satanic symbols. The number 13 has deep significance in witchcraft and Satanism, representing rebellion against God's perfect number 12. The 12 tribes, 12 apostles. The man in the moon imagery connects to ancient moon worship and lunar deities that the Bible repeatedly condemns. Deuteronomy 4:19 warns, "And when you look up to the sky and see the sun, the moon and the stars, all the heavenly array, do not be enticed into bowing down to them and worshipping things the Lord your God has apportioned to all the nations under heaven." The company faced massive boycotts from Christian groups who discovered that several P&G executives had connections to occult organizations and that the company donated heavily to anti-Christian causes. Internal documents revealed that some leadership viewed Christianity as an obstacle to their global agenda of moral relativism and population control. Their products have been used to promote sexual immorality through advertising campaigns that mock biblical purity, and they've consistently opposed legislation protecting religious freedom. Romans 1:32 describes those who not only continue to do these very things, but also approve of those who practice them. Although P&G eventually changed their logo due to Christian pressure, the damage was already done. They had openly displayed occult symbolism for over a century while building their fortune. The 13 stars in their original logo were arranged in a pattern matching constellations used in astrological divination, which God explicitly forbids in Isaiah 47:13-14. All the counsel you have received has only worn you out. Let your astrologers come forward, those stargazers who make predictions month by month. Let them save you from what is coming upon you. Surely they are like stubble. The fire will burn them up. Even today, many of their subsidiary brands continue promoting values that contradict biblical truth. But what we're about to reveal about Disney will shock you even more. Disney's logo appears innocent, but the company has become one of the most dangerous spiritual influences targeting Christian families worldwide. Walt Disney himself was deeply involved in occult practices, including membership in the secretive Demolay organization, and his original animations contained numerous hidden sexual and satanic images that were deliberately inserted to corrupt young minds. The famous Disney Castle logo is actually modeled after Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany, which was built by King Ludwig II, who was known for his obsession with paganism and the occult. The Bible warns in Mark 9:42, "If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea." Modern Disney has aggressively pushed anti-biblical agendas through their movies, promoting witchcraft, rebellion against parents, LGBTQ+ ideology, and New Age spirituality to impressionable children. Films like Frozen, Moana, and Encanto are filled with occult themes, goddess worship, and messages that directly contradict biblical teachings about family, gender, and spiritual authority. Disney's theme parks have become temples of materialism and fantasy that draw children away from reality and biblical truth. Their executives have openly stated their goal of indoctrinating children with progressive values that oppose Christianity, using entertainment as a weapon against biblical worldview formation. What's most disturbing is how Disney uses subliminal messaging and psychological manipulation techniques developed by occultists to program children's minds. Their logo's flowing script creates hypnotic patterns, and their parks use specific colors, sounds, and symbols that trigger subconscious responses. The company has documented connections to mind control research and has hired former government psychological warfare experts to design their magical experiences. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." Disney has become a spiritual battlefield where souls are at stake. And now, prepare yourself for something even more shocking about Google Chrome. Google Chrome's logo contains hidden 666 symbolism that becomes obvious once you understand the design's true meaning. The three curved sections of the logo, when viewed correctly, form three sixes arranged in a circle, creating a perfect representation of 666, the number of the beast from Revelation 13:18. The circular design represents the ancient Ouroboros symbol used in occultism to represent eternal cycles and the rejection of linear biblical history. Google's executives have admitted using occult symbolism throughout their products, and Chrome's logo is no exception to their pattern of mocking biblical truth through hidden satanic imagery. Google, as a corporation, has consistently opposed Christian values, censoring biblical content, promoting anti-Christian propaganda, and using their search algorithms to suppress biblical truth while elevating content that attacks Christianity. Their artificial intelligence projects have openly stated goals of replacing human decision-making with computer algorithms that reject biblical morality in favor of secular humanism. The name Chrome itself references the chrome-plated surfaces that create illusions and distortions, exactly what Satan does with truth. Jesus said in John 8:44, "You belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies." The three primary colors in Chrome's logo, red, green, and yellow, correspond to the three stages of alchemical transformation in occult philosophy: the nigrido, corruption; albedo, purification; and rubido, perfection. This process represents the occult belief in human self-deification without God, which is the core lie Satan told Eve in Genesis 3:5. "For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." Every time Christians use Chrome, they're opening their computers through a logo that celebrates humanity's rebellion against God and promotes the deception that we can become gods ourselves. But even this pales in comparison to the shocking truth about Apple. Apple's logo features a bitten apple, which is the most blasphemous corporate symbol in existence because it directly mocks the biblical account of humanity's fall into sin. The bitten apple represents Eve's bite of the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden, the moment when sin entered the world and separated humanity from God. By choosing this symbol, Apple is essentially celebrating the rebellion that brought death, suffering, and spiritual darkness to all mankind. Genesis 3:6 records, "When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eyes and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. She also gave some to her husband, who was with her, and he ate it." Apple's founder, Steve Jobs, was heavily influenced by Eastern mysticism, psychedelic drugs, and anti-Christian philosophies that viewed traditional biblical morality as obstacles to human enlightenment. The company has consistently promoted values that oppose biblical teaching, including sexual immorality, materialism, and the worship of technology over God. Their products are designed to create addictive dependencies that replace spiritual pursuits with digital obsessions, exactly fulfilling Paul's prophecy in 2 Timothy 3:4 about people in the last days being lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Apple's marketing campaigns consistently promote self-worship and individual autonomy over submission to God's authority. The bitten apple logo also connects to ancient occult knowledge traditions that viewed the serpent in Eden as a liberator who freed humanity from God's restrictive rules. In occult philosophy, Lucifer is celebrated as the light bearer who brought knowledge to mankind through the forbidden fruit, making Apple's logo a celebration of Satan's first victory over God's creation. The bite mark in the apple forms a perfect crescent moon shape, connecting to lunar worship and goddess spirituality that the Bible repeatedly condemns. 1 John 2:16 warns, "For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, comes not from the Father but from the world." Apple's entire brand celebrates the three temptations that led to humanity's fall. But our final revelation about Walmart will leave you speechless. Walmart's logo features a six-pointed star, also known as the Star of David, but in this context, it represents something far more sinister than Jewish heritage. When used by secular corporations, the hexagram becomes the Seal of Solomon, a powerful occult symbol used in witchcraft and demon-summoning rituals for thousands of years. The 6 points represent the number of man, 6, and when multiplied by the 6 triangles formed within the star, create multiple references to 6666. Ancient occultists believed this symbol could open portals between the physical and spiritual realms, allowing demonic entities to influence earthly affairs. Leviticus 19:31 warns, "Do not turn to mediums or seek out spiritists, for you will be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God." Walmart's business practices align perfectly with end-times prophecies about global economic control and the mark of the beast system. The company has destroyed countless small businesses, forced entire communities into economic dependence, and created a surveillance network that tracks every purchase, movement, and personal preference of their customers. Their partnership with Chinese communist manufacturers has enriched a regime that persecutes Christians while destroying American manufacturing jobs. Walmart executives have openly supported population reduction agendas and have used their economic power to force suppliers to adopt anti-biblical policies regarding sexuality and family values. The most terrifying aspect of Walmart's hexagram logo is how it represents their role in creating the infrastructure for global economic control prophesied in Revelation 13:16-17. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. Walmart's digital payment systems, biometric scanning, and customer tracking capabilities are building the exact technology needed for the mark of the beast system. Their logo's occult symbolism reveals their true spiritual allegiance, not to God, but to the powers of darkness that seek to control humanity's economic future. The hexagram on every Walmart store is literally a demon summoning symbol, inviting dark spiritual forces to influence every transaction that takes place under their roof. These 7 brands prove that Satan's kingdom has infiltrated every aspect of our daily lives through corporate symbols that mock God and promote spiritual darkness. From Starbucks' water demons to Walmart's occult hexagram, these companies are using ancient satanic imagery to normalize evil and corrupt Christian discernment. The Bible warns in 1 Timothy 4:1, the Spirit clearly says that in later times some will abandon the faith and follow deceiving spirits and things taught by demons. That's why knowing God's word is crucial, so you won't be deceived by teachings that sound spiritual but contradict Scripture. In our next video, we'll reveal 5 more shocking truths about how occult symbols have invaded Christian churches. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these brand revelations shocked you the most? Comment below, along with the country you're watching from. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends and family who need this truth. May God bless you and keep you safe from deception.